Mother's Day 2023. I don't have a visual aid for this video review because I watched it on Netflix, even though I know somewhere in my unorganized, extensive media archives, I do have a DVD copy of this film. We are going to be reviewing 1996 adaptation of the Roald Dahl. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The English children's author, his novel, Matilda. And this particular adaptation is directed by Danny DeVito, 98-minute runtime, and it came out in the summer of 1996. So this movie stars prolific 90s child actress, Mara Wilson, who happens to be the same age as me, 1987. So I remember her growing up being in the movie Mrs. Doubtfire and the 90s adaptation of Miracle on 34th Street. Both great 90s films, and as is Matilda. I believe when it was new on VHS, it had an orange VHS tape, because I think it was somehow affiliated with Nickelodeon, but back to the fact that Danny DeVito directed it. Love Danny DeVito. When my wife and I first got married, I bought all of Taxi on DVD box sets, and we watched the 5 seasons of Taxi, which was one of his earlier TV roles. And I believe, I want to say off the top of my head, one of Danny DeVito's earliest roles was as a mental case patient in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Correct me if I'm wrong, that might be his first theatrical role. So he directed this film, and they had a budget of $36 million, and it did not do what they thought it would at the box office, and it only made $33.5 million. It did not find its success until the VHS rental market, like a lot of other movies. Christmas Story is another one that bombed at the box office. On TV syndication and VHS rentals, it made a ton of money. So this film, if I wouldn't have known off the face of the film that Danny DeVito had directed it, I was getting very much Tim Burton vibes from like the way that they stylized the school, the Wormwood family's house, the Matilda's family home where Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman had their little. It was like a throwback to like the 70s, and it just felt like a Tim Burton film, who would have been immensely popular at that point in time. Edward Scissorhands kind of a vibe. And it's a good movie, and I watched it with my 9-year-old son, and that movie stirred up a lot of feelings of upsetness, where I saw him having the righteous anger towards the Miss Trenchbull character for her evil deeds and how she treated all those poor elementary school students. So interesting, after my Wikipedia studying in preparation for my notes, the Miss Trenchbull character was played by Miriam Margolyes, and that to me is the standout performance of this film. She experienced a lot of injuries for this role. She had to go to the hospital when her face was peppered with chalkboard erasers and she got chalkboard dust in her eyes. One precarious scene, she throws a little girl and swings her by the pigtails, and they had wire running up this girl's pigtails and wrapping around her fingers, and the wire slipped and ripped her fingers open, and she had to get several stitches. So she got deep into the role, serious, and she drives. My son was like, "How do you know all the cars?" She drives a 1968 Buick Electra 225 four-door hardtop sedan with two-tone paint. And side note, the Danny DeVito and his wife drive a 1980 Ford Ranch wagon, Crown Victoria front end, full-size station wagon, the beauty of the American cars, real metal hubcaps back in those days. So anyway, we're going off on tangents here. I am going to get into my review of this film. I liked the way it was filmed. I liked the special effects of the era where she has these powers that she could move stuff around. It was just pretty cool for the time. And you get an emotional reaction for the treatment of this poor girl by her parents and the evil, scheming ways of that Miss Trenchbull. Like I said, my son was very upset watching this film, and he's just like, when is justice going to befall this person? You don't get the she doesn't get the justice that she deserved. They kind of let her get off easy, but it's a kid's book. What am I to say? So, side note, Mara Wilson's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1995 and tragically died before the film had its theatrical release, although Danny DeVito did let her see a final cut of the film before she passed away. That was very troubling to read. And interestingly enough, Mara Wilson is also cousins with Ben Shapiro of conservative Daily Wire fame. Interesting. Yeah. So I am giving this film a 4 out of 5. It's a great movie, but it's not like a 5 out of 5. We'll save that for the Scorseses of the world and the Kubricks of the world. I do enjoy it, though. I need to watch DeVito's film, War of the Roses. I'm pretty sure he directed that one, and I have it on video cassette. We'll do a review on that one and see if the filming kind of is similar. I'm interested to see some of his other directorial films. IMDb, 7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 91%. And Google users, 87%. So most of those reviews are kind of mirroring my sentiments on the film. A fun movie, a good movie to watch with the kids. It's tame by modern standards, but it was very enjoyable. So that's it for today, folks. Have a great Mother's Day. Get out there and watch some movies. We'll see you then.